Hi, welcome to the Time to Thrive Summit. How to fuel true happiness, feel fulfilled, and create a life that you love. I'm so excited that you're here today. I've invited Dr. Janette Freeman here to help us understand how cleaning up our inner worlds will directly result in outer results. She's also done a lot of fantastic work with helping people connect to their passion, purpose, and joy. So I'm so excited to have you here. You want to give them a little bit about your background?
Sure. Thank you, Kate, for having me here. I'm so excited, and I love that you're doing this and really helping support people in greater happiness. And I think that's so important right now because people want more happiness, and we just need a few tools to be able to unfold that. So, yes, I've been teaching for about 20 years in the spiritual and personal growth movement, have had wellness centers and that sort of thing. But basically, I was a single mom just trying to figure out how I could make my life better, and just really discovered that, by working on my inner world, I could have a change in my outer world. So just my whole life has been about helping people be able to experience greater happiness, peace, and consciousness really in the internal world versus trying to rearrange the pieces of their life. So that's basically been it. I'm doing a lot of different things now, but we can talk about that at the end.
Okay, so that's great. So you're saying that if we want things instead of focusing in on the outer and trying to fix all those pieces, you're saying we need to turn our attention inward. And you mentioned that you've got some tools that you've used through your own experiences and your work with clients. Are there any that you would recommend as super crucial to feeling happier?
Yeah, absolutely. But if you don't mind, before we go into the tools, first of all, I want to say that about happiness is I really think, we are so programmed to look externally for a happiness, and we experience when something goes wrong, we experience stress. And so, yes, these tools really help us to be able to turn inward and find our own peace. And I think the real goal is, how can I experience greater happiness when things aren't exactly going perfect? And I think a lot of times when people watch these shows, it looks like, oh, everybody's so happy all the time. How come I'm not happy? And it's not that everybody's happy all the time. It's like, how can I unfold that happiness part? So just to give, I think I'd love to share this metaphor, if you don't mind, because it clearly to me explains how this best works. And that's like, if we imagine that we are like a 4-story house, and at any time in our day, we may be sitting on a different floor of that house, depending upon our state and our emotional state. And so it's like the first and second floor, I would consider it like when we're in a stress response, the fight or flight response. So level 1 would be like we are in the flight response. Our emotions are, isolating us. We isolate depression and forms of anxiety, but our response is to stay back. Or it can just be, mild forms of isolation and depression, but we just don't feel good, sadness, grief, these kind of things. So that's a state. And the second floor is like more aggressive. Okay, we can get more done there. It's like I'm right, and anger, and it's still kind of a stress, ego push, making life work. And then the third floor represents higher consciousness. So that's a place where we're living consciously. That's the place where we actually can make decisions. That's a place where we naturally feel a state of optimism and happiness and peace. It's the great state where we get up in the morning and we feel good. We love it. We get up in the morning, we just feel good. Well, thank God we woke up on the third floor. Sometimes we wake up on the first floor, but we need to find out what's the elevator up, right? And then there's the fourth floor, and that represents higher consciousness. It represents the observer. I call it the observatory, where from the highest floor, we can actually have awareness and watch ourselves on all the different floors. So that's the goal. That's the goal of meditation, is to the goal of meditation is to be able to build an elevator and build an elevator so that we can go back and forth. And meditation opens up the neural networks, it opens up our pathways, and it also gives us the ability to have greater self-awareness when we're down in floors 1 and 2. So, and so that becomes very important. So meditation is a primary practice, but I would like to kind of debunk some myths about meditation, if that's okay.
I would love that.
Okay. I mean, if there's one thing I've heard a million times, it's like, well, I can't meditate. I can't make my mind be quiet. And I'm saying you're not special. Nobody can. Okay. So that's what the human mind does. Okay. The human mind is constantly repeating, and it's noisy. So the idea is not to quiet your mind. The idea is to be able to go up to the 4th floor and actually see your mind. And so different practices can help us to do that. But the myth is that, I've got to dive right in and sit down in a quiet room, and I've got to do 20 minutes or it's not worth anything. And the thing is that I've never met a student that's beginning and learning to meditate that can actually do that, because they will not continue their practice because it's painful, right? So the other thing is that I forgot what I was going to say. It was so good. Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to lay down this recognition that human beings now have an attention span of less than a goldfish. We used to have an attention span in the year 2000 of 12 seconds, and now it's at 8 seconds. Goldfish is 9. So because of technology, everybody, it's like you can't focus on one thing. And this is a human condition right now that is pretty prevalent. So meditation, if you do meditate, those averages are not going to apply to you. Ooh. Because it's going to be like anything else. You're building a new skill. Now, all the great teachings and say that your subconscious mind is creating your reality and is creating your life. And the way to begin to shift that is a key factor, which is attention. What am I looking at? So attention is a skill, and it is a practice that allows us to choose our attention. But the challenge is, because of the world we live in, our attention's going down. That means that I'm not making choices. I'm living out of my programming, which is experienced at levels 1 and 2. And I'm unconsciously just going through life being triggered by events that happen, and I'm triggering my stuff. So developing a practice and a skill that trains our levels of attention is one of the greatest benefits of a meditation practice. It's like I am simply practicing. So a couple of really, really simple practices are, number 1, just becoming aware of the breath. This isn't new. This is what every single teacher says, is just pay attention to your breath. And what is it? It's doing it over and over again. It's like, yes, your mind is going to wander, but so what? You just notice it and you come back to your breath. So that teaches us who's in control. It's like it puts us up to the 4th floor where we really can be aware. Up on the 4th floor, we notice, we are seeing. So when we are seeing the body breathe, who is it that is seeing? Right?
Mm-hmm. The observer.
And if the observer's seeing, then that means, like, are there two of us, right? So what's the observer seeing? So the observer is seeing the mind, and seeing that when the observer sees the mind, then that means everything it's saying doesn't mean that much. You can't believe everything it says, but so we can see it as the kind of babbler it is. It's just a mechanism. It's just a programming. It's just this thing that's happening. But when we can see it, we've created space. We've become the observer. And the moment we slip into the observer self and can actually see the thinker, we're up at level 4. And now from level 4, we can use attention. We can choose. And through our choices, we're building new programming. So basically, our unhappiness happens, and this is true for every one of us, is we have circumstances in life that push our buttons. And they could be real circumstances, that challenge our security issues. It could be, loss of a relationship, and sickness with a child, and losing a job. These are all real things that cause this stress. But they are actually triggering a deeper place of pain in us. Mm. And that is showing up on levels 1 and 2. And you know this in your work, but when we realize that it's pushing my pain button, it's pushing my fear button, it's pushing my button, now it's not somebody else doing it. It's not an external event that's causing my stress. It's pushing my own button. And there, there's lots more to talk about what you do with that, for sure. But just seeing that it's my button that's pushed allows me to experience it more deeply, get the lesson or heal that, or just simply experience it. And my ability to witness that and experience that now takes me back up to the 4th floor. Mm-hmm. So to me, the goal, happiness, is at the 3rd and 4th floor. Happiness is at the 3rd and 4th floor. And it's when we're not in resistance to life, we're allowing life to unfold. It's not hitting our pain buttons. Mm-hmm. We're allowing life to unfold. We naturally are at level 3 and 4, and we're naturally happy. And the challenge is that a lot of people are down at levels, usually 2, trying to make happiness, success come. And it never lasts. The thing brings some joy or something, even you level 3. But at the same time, if we don't build that programming that takes us to level 3, we're not going to experience any kind of lasting happiness.
Okay. So you're saying that unhappiness is really connected to living a reactive life because we're having our pain buttons pushed. Yeah. And that one of the tools and skills that we can use to increase happiness is meditation, because we can start to become in the role of an observer. And from that place, it's no longer life happening to us.
Beautiful. Wow, you're good.
Nailed it. Okay.
Nailed it.
Well, thank you, Dr. Janette. That was very helpful.
Yes, that's right. So another tool, another thing that I think, again, what I want to help get across is that we don't have to be sitting in a cave someplace going 20 minutes to 4 hours. Mm-hmm. Like, what can we do right now? And so the one thing to remember is that your body and your body senses are your entryway into the observer self. So, in other words, if we put our attention on any of our senses really fully, it will take us into the present moment, and it will cause a disconnect from the stream of thought. All right, so it's like, our mind is like a lake, and the top of the lake is rough and it's affected by the wind and it's going, up and down, and boats are on it, and it's constant choppy and it's constantly affected by its environment. And then that's like our top of our busy mind. But down deep into the lake, it's unmoved by what's happening upstairs. It's unmoved because it's deep. So our meditation helps to expand us in that way. So our bodies, by putting our attention on our bodies, and I'll walk through this a little bit, we can immediately go present. So for example, if we have any kind of pain in our body, usually we try to get rid of it. We got to get rid of it, and we're going to fight up against it. But the paradox here is that if we were to accept that pain and put our attention on it with friendliness and with love, our attention on that pain can start to dissolve that pain, especially if it's emotional pain. So if you're in a noisy place and you put your attention on the noise, you can go peaceful. I've done this in airports. I've done this in busy. It's like if you scream inside of yourself, it's too noisy. I can't relax. I'm so stressed out. There's so much noise here. If you shift it and go, I'm going to listen deeply to the noise and hear all the different levels of sounds that you can hear, and listen deeply, that noise will bring you present. Smells, just walk into a Starbucks and actually smell the coffee. It's fabulous. It's like walking and smelling your food, tasting your food. How many people just shove the food in the mouth? Right? So tasting brings us present. Listening, smelling, and then touch especially. Just stopping. A lot of times I'll just tell people, if you're in a meeting and you need to get present, you need to get relaxed, you need to get into your intelligent brain, which is the one upstairs. It's not so much downstairs. You need to be in your intelligence, creativity. Just rub your hands together. No one will even know, but pay attention that I'm just feeling how they feel. Just feeling your hands, rubbing your hands together. So it's like, be where your body is. Like where your body is where you can experience the present moment. The present moment is where your peace is. And the present moment is where, when we observe the present moment, it's what takes us upstairs.
Oh my gosh, that's so fantastic, and so something that our audience can really use.
Right.
I am absolutely going to practice the listening in a loud room. Maybe the next time a baby's screaming, I really hope that works.
I know, right?
Right? Like, and I'm zen.
I know. I've done that in airplanes. It's like, really? I need to sleep, and now
And now there's a baby screaming, and it's not that baby's fault, but there's a baby screaming. I'm definitely trying that the next airplane for sure.
Hey, listen, I did a meditation retreat. I charged people a lot of money to come to this meditation retreat, and the retreat did not tell me that upstairs they were doing a remodel. They had jackhammers. They were constant construction. And I got there, and there's nothing we could do at that point. Like they were going to shut down construction. And I'm like, I have a meditation. So that's the practice we had to do, is we use the noise.
Yes. In
listening to the noise, and it was great. Everyone went into such beautiful states, but that's freaking life.
That's such a perfect example.
When we want it to be quiet.
No, it's such a perfect example of life. It's like you have to roll with it. And so like, what a great challenge for all of those folks that were on that retreat to get super present just by tuning into the noise.
Exactly. Yeah, it turned out to be great because of that. Yeah.
So how does meditation help with combating stress?
Well, for one thing, you're going to have some awareness upstairs, okay, on the 4th floor. And if we imagine a stress response puts us down in the 1st or 2nd floor, when we're having a stress response, the information is not getting to frontal cortex. The information has been hijacked by the amygdala, by the stress response. That means the information does not get up to the part of us that can actually make a decision. All right. So most of us are lost in the drama, in issues in the stress. We're lost. We think we're that person on the level 1. We're lost in the pain. We're lost in the stress. We're completely lost. So the fact, if we can just know that, meditation can just bring a part of our awareness upstairs to be the seer. Like even, like I like to just teach people, it's like, don't try to get rid of the stress. Try to see who is the one that sees you having stress. You know, it's like, there's Janette having a fit again. Oh, wow. Isn't that funny that she's doing that stupid thing she always does? I love her so much. You know, it's like just meditation opens the elevator. So it's like our little practices when we're not stressed helps us to stay in a triggered state less time. And I think that becomes the tell sign. It's like, it's not that we don't get stressed. It's not that we don't have triggered pain. It's not that that doesn't happen. It's that a meditation practice helps. It doesn't last as long. It's not the enemy. It's just a part of the experience we're having. Awakened consciousness, basically, it doesn't mean that everything's perfect. It means you can actually observe yourself in a stressed state, but not be lost in it as if that's your true identity. And we know how we feel. I mean, maybe you don't do this, Kate, but I know I do. There's times when we're lost in our, fear or pain or anything like that. It's like we can't see outside. It's like, that's me. I am that, But no, you're not that. You're having an experience of the one that's having that. That's not who we are. So meditation opens that channel. And the more we meditate, it's just another skill that we have developed some consciousness to be able to be the observer and to be able to do a practice and not get lost in identifying with the stressed out person.
So it's like we speed it up almost. So I'm in my story, I'm connected to this pain point, but because meditation has helped me with my ability to focus and to get present and to connect to attention, to details. I lost my train of thought right in the middle of that.
But that's right.
Yeah. But that because of that, I'm able to pull myself out of the story and be the observer and witness it.
Exactly right.
Okay.
The moment we can witness it, we're no longer lost in it.
Right.
It's not that we will immediately not have the feeling, because there's a physiological response that's happening. And it's important not to most of us try to get rid of that pain. We got to do whatever we can do to get rid of it, and drink it away or smoke it away or just eat it away or watch television or even just try to be therapeutic about getting it go away. And even meditation, if I could just get rid of this pain. It's a triggered response releasing energy that can be cried, it can be moved. But we don't have, why do we have to repeat the story? The story keeps it alive. The story keeps it alive. If we can just move the energy, then we can create new stories. Like, how about creating a new story about being, your own authentic self and what that feels like?
Oh, yes. I love that part. I mean, so what you're really saying is that we'll still have emotions. It would be weird if you didn't have emotions.
That's right.
And that what we need to do is to be able to step into witnessing it, and that will help us work through. But we're not going to say that you'll never have emotions. Right?
I would never say that. We're human, and that's if we can't experience grief, we can't experience joy. This is the human condition. So the trick is to not get stuck in all of that, and to be able to, and I am a big believer in creating a new program, and really, that whatever we think about most is rewriting the brain. It's rewriting our program and our perception. So I want to be rewriting with real positive, supportive messages. I don't want to be living out of this old story. So, but I can't create a new messaging, a new story from down here at that level. Yeah, only when I'm conscious can I start to create some new, and they're still all new stories, but we're human. Why not create some better stories?
I'm 100% with you on that. What do you want to tell yourself? Because you should probably try that, right? Like, let's not be like, oh, life stinks. Let's say, hey, what's good? And turn our attention to that.
Exactly. Because where our attention goes, energy flows. Where our attention goes, that's what we're creating in our life. Where our attention goes, the whole universe is getting behind our attention to create and manifest from that place. So let's have a better skilled use of our attention so we can have more fun and create more fun and more joy and more happiness and sexier life. And, like, why not?
Let's do this. Yes, agreed. Absolutely. So for you, you see one of the keys to living a happier life as meditation. It's like a practice that can really help us create happiness in our life.
Yes.
Are there any others?
Yes. Everything that makes you feel good.
Oh.
Like move, like in your body.
Yes.
Like being in your body, especially women, dancing or working out or moving your body is just as powerful because it makes you feel better. So it's like, how can you create these endorphins and these positive hormones and get our body trained to produce these healthy, exciting hormones and train it? So what can you do to feel good? I mean, self-care and self-love, loving ourselves the way we are, honoring ourselves the way we are, dancing, moving, getting massages, making love, all these things. So keep alive and awake and aware and passionate. And and it's science. We're training ourselves to feel good. So when we go through times where we're in a lot of depression and different things, we've trained, well, not consciously, but our brain is trained to give those kind of juicy, miserable, hormones. So anyway, I want to throw that in. It's like, those are choice, self-care, feel good. What do I need to do to feel good? How much happiness what kind of things am I doing that are fun? That I like doing.
Yes.
And I'm a big thing, like when I'm processing stuff, dance, turn the music on, move the body, move that out of there. That's way more effective than meditating when you're totally twisted.
Mm-hmm. I know. I flashed a Taylor Swift "Shake It Off" song.
Exactly.
One of my favorites for like, we're done with this. Let's move on out of this. Yes.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So I know you also have a free gift for our audience. Did you want to share what that was?
Yeah, so that's I am so blessed. So that's real upbeat affirmation music CD that's really just puts our attention on what we're creating. I am so blessed, and it goes through a whole bunch of things. So that's I totally believe in playing CDs, I don't downloads now, all the time. Like I've got something going in the background. I play subliminals. I've got music. I'm listening to affirmations. I'm putting it in because there's so much negativity out there. I can just get down and depressed and fearful like anybody. So I'm constantly doing it. So that's free. And they can go to my website and get sign up and get a free neuro meditation. That's a 20-minute meditation. And that helps develop focus. So that uses 3 different pressure points in the body to help. It's got different mechanisms built into it with binaural beats, and I guide you through it, and you use touch to just train yourself to focus, on one thing. Focus on one thing. So that's free when they sign up on my JanetteFreeman.com.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to ask, where can they go get that? Because that sounds so fantastic.
Yeah.
Can they dance around to the "I am blessed"?
Yes, I do it all the time. I do it at the gym. I'm so blessed. My granddaughter, she knows all the words, and it's like constant. Let's listen to this.
Oh, fantastic. And I know you gave them your website. It was
Janette Freeman. That's JANETTE, Freeman.com.
Okay, perfect. I just want to be sure that they're able to connect with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Every Sunday morning online, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I have a little show called Soul Soup. And I give a little inspirational message, and I guide people into some sort of meditative process, releasing process. Last time we did intention, so whatever it is. So that's 9 o'clock, so they can get information on my web soup,
Your web soup.
or soulsoup.online.
Okay.
Soulsoup.online.
Oh, wonderful. You guys definitely check this podcast out. It sounds fantastic. What she has shared about meditation and how helpful it is tremendous. I can definitely share that within my own life. I have a meditation practice on a daily basis for sure. If you want to stop reacting to life, please, please, please start to apply the tools that she so generously gave to us today. Thank you so much for taking your time out and for speaking with us. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kate, for having me. It was my pleasure.
Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.